This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Around the Indoor Football World, Shield TV, and The Big Football Show. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla Hour, Brosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, Viking Show, and Spirit of Detroit Podcast. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Wrestling Roundup, Skull Gang 365, First and 10 with Foz, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballin' Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, 313 Den Podcast, Puckett, The Guys Huddle, Main Event Football Show, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, and Off the Rails. Hope you enjoy all the shows and feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe. This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good Saturday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Valhalla Hour. I'm your host, Sir SoCal. Rob is still on military assignment, but he will be back in 2 weeks. With us is Matthew, as always, Jay-Wee, and we have a very special guest all the way from the AFC. Papa Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? I'm Papa Paul with WCFL Dolphins Talk, whereas the AI says Dolphins.
Nice.
So, thank you for having me. Appreciate you guys. It's all about the football, right?
Yes, it's all about the football. It's all about the fans. It's all about the good food as well.
Yes.
We have a jam-packed show, and we are going to jump right into it with the most obvious topic from the past week. Jordan Addison getting arrested again. Now, we've been hearing some conflicting reports that alcohol was smelled in the car. However, from the time of his arrest to the time that he was released, I'm wondering if it was something else, because those of you in our audience that have had any type of alcohol-related driving arrest know that it's usually a lot longer than exactly 2 hours. So I'm wondering if something else had to take part. Was it a medical condition that, and he might have had some leftover booze that spilled in the car? Was it marijuana? We don't know. So, and there's nothing been released from the LA County Sheriff's Department. There's nothing else has been released from the LA County District Attorney's Office. So we honestly don't know. Matthew, what do you think?
Yeah, well, isn't it in California, if it's like a misdemeanor charge or less, there you can just get booked with the promise that you're going to show up for a future court date. So if he had a ride out and didn't need to stay in the drunk tank, there's no reason why he couldn't have gotten out of there after 2 hours. So I don't know if him being drunk or not is the reason for that. I'm hoping it's not drinking, because I guess if it is a marijuana charge, he might avoid an NFL suspension, although it sounds like the Vikings are going to suspend him regardless internally. So obviously a stupid move after what happened to Kyrie Jackson, especially with it being his second offense with the 140 mile an hour speeding last year. Not a good look, but he's young. Hopefully he grows.
I'm going to kick it over to the AFC. Papa Paul, what do you think about this whole issue?
Well, it's sorry about that. It's you got to wait and see. Really, it could be any number of things. I mean, it could be a simple misunderstanding to a fact of they smelled marijuana in the car to anything. Um, it's all hearsay. I don't believe anything I hear and only half of what I see.
Hmm.
Right.
Because everything we get is hearsay. Unless you actually seen it directly yourself, everything's hearsay.
Okay. Jay
Definitely concur with that. It's a little too soon to speculate. I seen Gessling's report about maybe being edible or marijuana. But like they say, I guess that type of stuff is legal out there. Don't quote me on
Yes.
that, but and if that's the case, then that probably, you know, answers the question about the 2 hour uh, confinement time. So yeah, it's too soon to say, but man, don't put yourself in that position.
Right.
It's just, God, especially after what happened, a couple weeks ago. It's just
Exactly.
stay out of
Well,
trouble. Shit, it's
and
not that
I mean,
hard.
It
what's
really,
weird too is it was pretty early in the night. It was only like 11:30 when he was pulled over. So I mean, while
Yeah.
that's not super early, that's not passed out drunk in the middle of a lane on a freeway.
but at the same time, with the way things are today, there's Uber, there's Lyft, there's
Yep.
taxi cabs.
Yeah.
There's friends. If you don't have a friend that's willing to give you a ride home that's sober, then you don't have a friend.
Right.
Right. And here's I mean, I don't know his background, but there is something called self-brewery syndrome where your body, produces alcohol. And I've heard stories and I have read them of people who have had this self-brewery syndrome getting popped for multiple DUIs and they have gotten off because they've had some sort of their doctors faxed over something to whatever to get these charges dropped. I mean, it's a rare thing, but
Yeah, it's a rare thing, but he would have been recognized with this already. And
Yeah.
honestly,
Yep.
if he had that, from what I've seen and what I know about it, there's no way he'd be able to play football, let alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also Josh Metellus is blaming himself for this. In a
Yeah, that
recent,
was
Well, he is a
yeah,
captain, but still.
yeah. And in one of his quotes on a recent interview with Darren Wolfson, he says, "Yes, this is my fault. I gotta lead the young guys in a better direction."
He's stepping up.
Josh Metellus, this is why I like him as a captain.
Yep.
And he's taking responsibility for something he really didn't do. And that's why he's one of our best. And that's why he wears that C.
Leadership.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. I mean, he's still a young player on the team too. So
Yep.
for him to have that maturity and to just kind of take that veteran presence, yeah, you love to see it.
Yep.
Yeah, and but otherwise there have just been radio silence from everything, from all the parties involved. So we
Maybe
honestly don't know what's going on.
maybe it's nothing. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, but passed out, behind the wheel near LAX airport.
Yeah.
At
It
the
just-
same time, not knowing,
Yeah.
anybody can speculate anything, but it could have been an allergic reaction to something or another.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
I mean, don't look into something don't overlook into something when you don't know the facts.
Yeah.
Well, I think as Vikings fans, we're hoping it's nothing because with Hawkinson on probably starting the season on the PUP list, to
Yeah.
have Addison possibly miss the first 2 or 3 games is it's not going to bode well.
No, I understand. I already have 4 players on the PUP list, so
Yeah.
Jalen Ray,
Waddle.
Jalen Phillips and Chubb are 2 of them. So one of the rookies is on the PUP list, and then I forget who the fourth one is on the PUP list.
Oof.
Yeah. So we will move on to Kevin O'Connell's finally broken his silence about Kyrie Jackson. His phone had rang at 4:00 in the morning. He was back in California. This was in an interview yesterday with KFAN here in the Twin Cities. And some of the quotes that he says, are just basically bone chilling. Pretty much he's been a head coach for now. This is his third season. He says it's basically your biggest nightmare as a head coach. And, this is what he said about Kyrie. He fell in love with his journey from Alabama, JUCO, Oregon. This quote really stands out to me. This kid was so ready for the runway that was out in front of him. I had no doubt he was going to have a huge impact on our team this year and many, many years to come. And he was basically saying that the teammates had absolutely loved him. The coaching staff loved him. And still 2 weeks later, we're still it was a crushing blow to us. But, with him breaking his silence, I have a feeling that this season is going to be dedicated in his memory. And
Yeah.
it just it's quite the thing. Even 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
It's like I said last week. It's the weird dichotomy of mourning the loss of a young life, and then also as a fan of a team mourning the loss of what could have been a really talented player to help our defense, which in a weak position group we surely could have used. So it in a million different ways. It's a terrible, terrible loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His funeral's this Friday coming up, so I'm sure we'll see a lot more news.
They still haven't announced any charges. So
Yes, that doesn't make me very happy either.
So much for them working expeditiously.
yeah, I'm sure if there would have been charges, we would have heard by now.
Right.
Or unless they're waiting for the tests to come back from the people killed.
Or toxicology.
Yeah. This topic is going to be very interesting. Most expensive offenses. They have been revealed for this year, and we have the list. We are 23rd on this list. $113 million.
Okay.
The Dolphins are 13th on this list.
I'm actually shocked.
Yeah. And Green Bay, our arch rivals, are dead last.
And I seen a little clip on that earlier. This guy was going, with how young Green Bay is, their top wide receiver is barely getting a little over $1 million a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all on rookie contracts. None of them are first-round picks.
Yeah, how young the team is, and with them even making the playoffs last year, they're going to be something to, reckon with over the next few years.
Yeah. Yeah, the NFC North as a whole has a lot of really talented skill position players, and a lot of them are really young. So it's going to be a fun division to watch for the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
To me, you talking about NFC North. To me, the NFC South is one that really needs a whole rehaul.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers, Atlanta Falcons. When you can make the playoffs on a 8-9 record,
Yeah.
what is going on there?
I'm shocked that Detroit was 16th
you make
on
the
that list.
playoffs.
Yeah. Pretty sad.
So I just pulled up Detroit's roster on courtesy of our friends over at Sport Track. Their highest paid offensive player is Jordan Love at $12 million this year.
What was this? I've seen that they were going to sign him to a big contract this weekend. What was that?
It's all
5 years, 280.
ESPN has said they're not close.
Until you see it in writing or see it in person, hear it from the team itself, it's just rumors.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't
those
think it
numbers
was true
usually come out
anyway.
being correct.
I didn't think it was true anyway.
Josh Jacobs, their running back they just signed, is only getting $5 million this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, like I said, the whole wide receiving core, I think only one of them is getting over $1 million. The rest are all under $1 million.
Watson's getting 2.5.
Yeah, Watson and Dobbs might be making in that 1 to 2 range, but everyone else, I mean.
Yeah.
Because Kraft was, a 5th rounder, so I can't imagine he's getting a whole lot.
It's crazy the amount of money they're spending on Kenny Clark and Jair Alexander.
Yeah, Jair's getting paid.
And they have $26 million in cap space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jordan Love's on a 5th. Yeah, Jordan Love got it halved his 5th-year contract. So yeah, like you said, he's only making $12 million. That's the most expensive position in football. That's why I was surprised with Detroit being 16th on that list, because they just paid Goff, they just paid St. Brown, they just paid Sewell.
And the thing is, paying the quarterback only $12 million, yet you look at all these other quarterbacks and what they're making. But at the same time, the cap space is going to go up even more next year, so they're going to have a ton of money to do what they want to do with it.
Where are we at in the cap right now?
We
have 24.
Yeah, 22.9.
22.
So we can still go after somebody.
I want Gilmore.
I would love. Yeah, we need cornerback.
Yeah.
You also don't want to use it all, because you got to have that money for severe injuries and stuff.
True.
We could get Gilmore for under 10 and still have $12 million in cap for injuries.
Yeah. Well, that's good then.
So before Kyrie passed, he had a 4-year, $4.84 million deal.
Which
And
went
I
back
believe
to
they
the
paid it
cap.
out to his. Yeah.
That went back to the cap.
Did it?
Yeah, his cap hit was $206,000 this year.
Okay. I thought that his signing bonus was paid out to the family.
That does, yes, but I think it goes back to the cap, right?
Okay.
It should.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can't collect.
Yeah, more than likely, the guaranteed money or the signing bonus, whatever it is, will go to the family. But otherwise, everything else, and it's only for 1 year. The 1 year bit, not the 4 years.
Right.
And
Now,
I mean, especially if the team wants to do the family right because they like the guy so much and everything, they're going to take care of the family with everything.
Yep.
You already know right off the bat all the funeral costs are taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it says here since he's quote unquote on the reserve, did not report to camp list, it still counts against us.
That'll drop. That has to drop here.
Yeah, that'll drop, because there's no way they can hold that against you.
Yeah,
that's temporary.
We also have somebody on the exempt and exempt/commissioner's permission list. That's Samus Reyes at $915,000.
I don't know who that is.
He is. Let's see.
I've never heard that name.
Undrafted.
Is that the international? Is that an international person?
I think he might be undrafted.
He is a tight end.
Yeah.
It's funny.
We don't need any more tight ends.
You don't know who that is. It was 4 years ago. A lot of us are watching Miami play, and Durham Smythe catches a touchdown pass, and we're all looking at it like, who the fuck is Durham Smythe? Who is it? And now, of course, we love him because he's been great for us.
Yeah. And of course, we are ranked third in the dead cap at 57.3 million.
Thanks, Kirk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
most of that's Kirk.
We have a Dolphin fan on here, so can we get your perspective on us getting Van Ginkel?
Yes, yes. How is
I'd
he?
love this.
My wife is heartbroken. That was her favorite player.
Okay.
He is a baller.
Good.
He's all over the field. I mean, you're gonna love him, the way his play, his game. Honestly, he's like there at almost every tackle. It seems like
Nice. High motor guy.
Nice.
very very high motored, but down to earth guy too. And I actually met him last year at training camp, getting autographs and stuff. Because our guys come out after every training camp, come up to the fence signing autographs and stuff.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And he's a very down to earth guy, very nice family guy, and that's why they moved back up there, because of family.
Right. He'll be
But,
100% for camp too, from what I hear.
You
Awesome. That's
can't,
good to hear.
honestly, you can't go wrong with him. He'll be a starter, no doubt about it, and he's gonna be something for you.
Good.
He's really gonna rock and roll. I can almost guarantee you that.
That's
Nice.
great to hear.
I actually met the guy at the draft party. He seems ready to go. He's focused, and it seems like he was very focused on the mission when he was in Miami.
He was, and I mean, my wife fell in love with him because he was pretty much on every play, and she was like, my wife doesn't have any jerseys. She wanted his jersey. And then when he left, she's crying and like, I don't want it.
She can get it in the new winter whiteout.
Nah. But no, he's a great guy. I mean, you guys are gonna love his play. You really
Awesome.
I have watched footage of him. He is an unstoppable force. He is what I call a grinder, meaning he's committed to the team. He's
Yep.
focused,
Yep.
and he is ready to go every single time. And when we
100%.
played against him 2 years ago in Miami, I was going, "Oh shoot, it's him, not again."
100%. You're 100% correct on that. He's 100% go.
Cool.
Good. Good to
I
hear.
might as well just call him Turbo.
A lot of people call him VG. Yeah, a lot of people just call him VG or Van Gink, or they just call him Gink.
Okay.
I wouldn't call him Gink for sure.
Him and Pace together are going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Whoa.
like I said, he's all over the field, and I'm gonna miss him. I really am. Not only as a player, but as a person.
Well,
will
we
take very
appreciate
good
it.
care of it.
Yes,
We'll
Yeah.
take
I'm
Thank you.
sure.
care of
I'm
him.
sure you do. I'm sure you do. As long as you don't have him whenever we play you guys again.
Right.
That might be next year.
I have no idea. I got friends who could tell you all that. My short-term memory is not the best these days, and
I feel you.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time when I went to Miami a couple years ago. That was fun. That was a good time.
well, I mean, especially if you're tailgating over at East 12, row 209 and all, we're that whole row, we're just one big family. We invite everybody up and down there.
That's cool.
We want y'all there to party with us and everything.
Well, too bad I didn't know you a couple years ago.
Well, I'll be around.
I will make a note of that. So the next time I'm in Miami, next time the Vikings are there, I'll make sure to find you guys.
Yeah, East 12.
East 12. All right.
East 12, row 209. All of us, all the fan of the years, all 4 of the fan of the years are always up and down that row.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to close out the first half of the show with there is a proposal for an 18th game, and comes from the mind of Joe Burrow. So the portion would be the 18th game. There would be 2 bye weeks, but one of them would be a universal bye week, which would be the Pro Bowl bye week in the middle. So it would align the NFL with every other league who has it right in the middle. The Super Bowl would be the day before President's Day, so that way everyone would have off on President's Day.
Yes.
Which
yeah.
I know within the NFL fan base, it's been a hot topic for at least 10 to 15 years.
Oh, at a couple decades at least.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? And I'm going to lead it off with Papa Paul.
Well, if they do that, they got to up the roster.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. They got to go to at least, I would say, at least a 60 or 63 man roster. Right. That's the biggest thing. And the 2 bye weeks, because there's got to be 2 bye weeks because you're playing so much longer. You got to look at it. Even though back in 1970, we're playing the same amount of games today as we did back then. Back then, they had 16 preseason, 6 preseason games, 14 regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 3 preseason games, 17 regular season games. It's still 20 games either way you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So 18, you're going to be going down to 2 preseason games. You're either going to have to start training camp a little bit sooner to get things figured out, but they most definitely need to raise the roster from 53 to 60 or 63.
Yeah.
Jay Weed?
Just do away with the Pro Bowl. No, nobody watches that crap anyway. It used to be good, but now it's just turned into a big circus. So it's
flag football.
yeah,
It will.
it's nobody takes it seriously anymore. It's just take
I
that
think
away.
I think people enjoy the skills competition the night before the Pro Bowl, but yeah, the Pro Bowl itself is an absolute joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. It used to be
if
good.
they want to have 2 or 3 days or just skill competitions on offense and defense and stuff, that would be something better,
Right.
I think.
Right.
Yep, just take the game away. Problem solved.
Yep.
Matthew?
I mean, I'm all for an 18th game. We're obviously going to hear all the people like, well, records don't matter anymore. They're all going to have asterisks. But, I mean, we went from 14 to 16, 16 to 17. I mean, it's just the natural progression. But like Papa Paul was saying about the roster sizes, the cap's also going to have to adjust. Because if
True.
you're going to field to 10
Yeah.
more people, I mean, with receivers getting 30 plus, quarterbacks are getting right on the border of 60 million. That's going to have to change as well, which obviously there's going to be more revenue from having that extra game. So
Well,
that should take care of
honestly,
itself. But
if they up it 10 more people, you got to consider almost $10 million a person.
yeah.
Right.
So
So
another
then we're
100
looking
mil.
at, does the NFL follow the NBA and start advertising on their jerseys to increase that revenue? What does that look like? So, I mean, yeah, the roster's going to have to expand. The cap's going to have to expand. It's going to be a lot. But as I love football, so I'm always down for an extra game.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. My take on this, yeah, I mean, yes, something would have to change on the roster and the business side. Because one big fact is you're going to have 2 preseason games. Yeah, preseason, yes, it's a good affordability option for those families who cannot afford to go to a regular season game. They can get like a $10 ticket. They can get like $5 hot dog and have some fun with the family.
Where do you get a
Now-
$5 hot dog at? Hard Rock.
I got it last year when I went to the Saints game in the upper deck of US Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
What?
We
Yeah.
have one of the most,
$5 at U.S. Bank?
That's what I got.
we actually
Get outta
have one of
here.
the most expensive stadiums.
Oof.
$11 a beer.
Yeesh.
Oh,
That's Target Center. Target Center is $16 a tall can.
So we will be right back. We do have to pay the bills. So we will be right back with the second half of the show.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B, Around the Indoor Football World, Shield TV, and The Big Football Show. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla Hour, Brosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, Bodkin Show, and Spirit of Detroit Podcast. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Wrestling Roundup, Skull Gang 365, First and 10 with Foz, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballin' Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, 313 Den Podcast, Puckett, The Guys Huddle, Main Event Football Show, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, and Off the Rails. Hope you enjoy all the shows and feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe.
All right, we are back. So we left off with my thoughts. Yeah, the 18th game I think would be a great option. If this proposal were to be widely adopted, I think fans would love it just because of the fact the Super Bowl would end, or the season would end right before President's Day, give everybody that free day off, which would be kind of like the national hungover after the Super Bowl day.
Well, the one thing though I look at, if we expand to an 18th game, because of the way the NFL is and how they're trying to expand everything, I can guarantee you every team is going to have an out of the country game.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, we're already almost there.
yeah, I mean, there's 4 or 5 or 6 of them. And now the newest one is down in Brazil, which I'm not sure about that.
If I was anybody for the Packers or Eagles, I'd protest the hell out of that. No way.
Better them than us.
Now, the thing that I really am curious about, now that the NFL is expanding its reach into different areas, London being the most prevalent, how soon are we going to see a team in either London or Toronto even?
I hope never.
Well, wasn't there a game last year in London?
Oh, there's
yeah.
always games. In
Yeah,
London.
every year
have
is
a
in
permanent
London.
team though.
Yeah, we're going there this year.
Team? That's a permanent team. I'm sorry.
Jacksonville.
No,
They just
the
just
thing
signed
is, the
they just signed a
problem,
lease.
there's going to be a problem unless they would have to have several teams over there. They would have to have basically 4 AFC and 4 NFC teams over in these other countries to try and equal out the amount of travel for everybody.
Yeah.
I think their plan would be they would do like 4 home games, 4 away games. So that way you're not constantly having to travel to and from London. It would just be the teams flying from the States that would have the issue every time.
And that, at the same time, you're going to have conflict with that because everyone's going to say, well, that's not fair.
Right. No, it's a terrible decision to have a team in another country because it's the National Football League. It's not the International Football League.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So there is something that I actually did see. How about an expansion team in Sydney?
Oh, that's a 24-hour flight. No
That's
player
a
would ever
long
want to
way
go
away.
there.
That's a
Yeah.
long way away.
Or even Tokyo?
Who's smoking what?
No. That's the thing is there's so many cities in this country alone that are just bleeding to have professional football.
San Antonio.
I mean, honestly, put it back in St. Louis. Look at how their fans turn out for the Blackhawks. They're hungry to have football back in that city.
Bring them down here. We'll take
You mean
them.
Battlehawks?
Well, I mean,
What did I say?
Blackhawks. That's the
Ah,
Chicago.
yeah, sorry, Battlehawks. Yeah. My apologies.
I mean, there's so many other cities that would do better for a team than going to another country.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
I'm reading that comment. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's expensive over in London.
Big
Yeah,
time.
that's a good point too. With the free agents, yeah.
Big time.
So
Yes.
yeah, I think it'd be a pretty bold move. I don't think they would actually pull the trigger on doing it.
Albuquerque?
No way. No way. No way.
Would they
If
be called the
anything,
Isotopes?
Before San Antonio?
Yeah, no,
Well,
you'd have,
I could see a team going to El Paso before some of these other places.
ooh, could you imagine a team playing in the Sun Bowl? That'd be sweet.
Now with the cartel down there. No.
Well, they're playing in Brazil.
True.
I lived in El Paso for 4 years. I lived in El Paso for 4 years. It's a surprisingly safe city. It's super low crime rate. Obviously, Juarez, south of the border, is not great, but El Paso itself was a wonderful city.
So here would be my four, ideal expansion destinations, and I'm going to keep them North America just because of the travel issues. I do see Toronto getting a team. I do see St. Louis getting back a team because they are so football hungry, and St. Louis fans in general are some of the most passionate about their sports, whether it be the Cardinals. I mean, we've all known how good the Cardinals have been for many, many years. And the Blues with their recent success. I see an NFL team succeeding, or an NFL team succeeding there again.
Honestly, I see if we go to 18 games a season, I could see as many as 8 new teams.
Yes.
One for each of the division.
Yes.
Is there enough talent pool to do that?
Yes.
You got to be kidding me. Really? I mean, you look at the amount of people, it may not be enough actual real talent, but the amount of people that are trying to get on teams. And you got Canadian football, you got the XFL, all these people are playing football. They would be more than willing to come play NFL.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying there's not enough people to field a team, but we have barely 32 quality starting quarterbacks as is, much less 40.
No, wait a second.
Well, and here's something that I'll let you finish, Papa Paul.
I'm going to say at the same time, we don't have 32 quality quarterbacks as it is, if you really look at it.
Yeah.
But you're going to end up like that, and then you're going to have quarterbacks moving around more and more. And it's going to every year there's a different run of players coming in the draft, whether it's quarterbacks one year, it's receivers another year, it's defensive end another year, it's running backs another year. It switches up all the time.
Yeah.
And there's going to be players, just like look at New England. They have shit for a team right now. They're going to go through that. Every team's going to go through it for a while. So whether you have no more teams or 8 more teams, you're going to have some teams that are going to be shit teams, of course.
Yeah.
Now with these comments that are coming up, I don't agree with, because I'll tell you what, the way Austin and San Antonio are growing down here, it's going to happen. Yeah. I guarantee it's going to happen.
Yeah.
San Antonio is the seventh biggest city in the United States. Every city above us has a team but us.
Well, Texas is one of the fastest growing states, primarily because so much land they have. There is no state tax.
Correct.
And insurance is actually a lot cheaper there than in a lot of other states.
Gas prices, I mean, military benefits.
I lived out in Texas for 8 years. I know.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Austin, between Austin and San Antonio, in between that area, is going to pick up a team. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to complain if Texas gets a third team. It makes sense. It's a giant state.
I mean, they got Houston.
Yeah.
Well,
The-
but look, Florida has 3 teams,
Yeah.
and Texas is a lot bigger than Florida.
And so does
Texas,
California.
but if Texas gets another team, I honestly think it would be El Paso first, because you look at the distance for any game, people to go to a game in the area. There's nothing between Houston and Arizona.
San Antonio.
What I'm saying, El Paso is going to be more centrally located for New Mexico and other places.
and one thing that I was surprised about. There was this, I think it was U20 football tournament. The United States lost to Japan.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
the silver lining in that shows the game of football is growing way beyond what
Mhm.
any one of us expected. Europe is, becoming a hotbed for football. German football is pretty good. With the Japanese now playing football,
Well, you got to look. They put all those sumo wrestlers out there and just walked them down the line.
Right. Yeah, I mean, looking at our roster, there's a bunch of 19-year-old just out of high school kids. We barely had SFL players on their teams. It was
it wasn't serious. I don't think it was that serious.
Yeah.
The other 2 cities I really could see, Oklahoma City, because Oklahoma City's has a contact case of football fever because of its proximity to Texas,
Mhm.
and how Texas is a football mecca.
Well, I mean, you got the Oklahoma Sooners and stuff.
Right.
And
Thunder.
then the other city, and this might be a surprise, just because I feel the NFL would want to tap into more into the Hispanic community, would be San Diego. Put a team back there, because
if they really want to tap into the Hispanic community, it would be El Paso.
Yeah, San Diego,
Really?
they couldn't even support the Chargers. It's too soon to put a team back there.
Same way with St. Louis. They couldn't support the Rams or the
honestly,
the
anywhere in
Cardinals.
Texas, they would be a Hispanic community.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, was the Rams a attendance issue, or was it a leasing issue? Because I thought they just didn't want to pay for the stadium, and so they relocated them. But the fan base clearly looks hungry for football.
I mean,
I honestly think it was the stadium issue. It was built in the early 90s.
yeah, the Jones Dome is suspect.
Yeah.
The reason why I think, because San Francisco and Los Angeles are the 2 biggest cities. Los Angeles can't even support 2.
Right.
Because if when the Chargers were playing in Carson at that soccer facility, when the Vikings went there, it was 90% Vikings fans.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
In a 25,000 seat little rinky-dink stadium.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you got to look at also, and I believe it's true for all the stadiums, even though they're supposedly, the season ticket holders are supposedly hardcore fans, if there's a game they don't want to go to, they're selling their tickets to whomever, not necessarily a home team fan. They're going to sell it to the highest bidder.
I'm sorry.
To the whole family.
Halftime donkey show, yeah.
Nice.
They're going to sell it to the highest bidder. It's just like us last year, freaking Buffalo game. I swear it was 40-45% Buffalo fans there.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have been.
So
yeah,
that one was a good one. I honestly think NFL will expand shortly. Oakland, I don't think is going to be even remotely close, because
they can't even keep a baseball team.
The
Right.
Bay Area
No.
can't support two teams. It's plain as simple.
My dream as a fan that I'd love to see the NFL try one year is having all the teams play at a local college stadium. Like, how awesome would it be to see the Lions play at the University of Michigan, or to have Texas play, or not Texas, sorry, to have Houston play at Longhorn Stadium? Like, that'd be cool to see 100,000 seat stadium get packed with NFL fans.
Actually, that would be an interesting concept. Like, have like a one-off game at a college stadium and call it like the NFL College Showcase.
Yeah,
Maybe
like
as
have
an
the Gophers play
exhibition
at
game.
Huntington Bank again, or the Vikings.
Yeah,
like,
we've already have experience in that.
right. And it was a
see
fun
that
atmosphere.
more as an exhibition, maybe as a preseason.
Either way, I just think it'd be a really cool. I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about the games overlapping because college football is never played on a Sunday, so there's no issue. I think that'd be a really cool.
Oh,
Put it in the NIL fund.
Yes.
You're right.
So we are going on to one of our next topics. JJ, the other one, finally signed his rookie deal, and I do have the numbers up for that.
Unprecedented.
He's guaranteed $21.8 million. Signing bonus is $12 million, and this is his breakdown for the year. Base salary is $795K. Now, nothing really that big.
Isn't it nice having a quarterback cost $21 million for 4 years?
It's a good deal, but this close to camp, I'm a little worried. Because I'm going to say this, we still have not signed Dallas Turner.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
So,
yeah, I'm not worried.
What are we waiting on for him? Is it just because of the money, or is it
I think it was the domino effect from because I think who was it? Somebody signed. Was it Penix or somebody signed before JJ, and that caused JJ's contract to come into play. So I think it's just going to be a domino effect going down the hill.
Yeah, I mean, Williams just signed a couple days before McCarthy.
Yes.
25.
Yes.
And a lot of times when this happens too, it's usually some type of like injury insurance clauses that they want in their contracts, or it's like, hey,
right.
I want to make sure that if I get hurt in game 2 that I'm taken care of. And usually that is a typical hang up for rookie contracts.
Yeah, and Papa Paul, your Dolphins have signed all their rookies, correct?
Yes, sir. We're still waiting on that Tua, and I'm not 100% for it. I am a supporter of everyone who plays on my team. I'd rather sign him next year. I want to see more this year. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, we sign him now and he gets injured. There's got to be something in that contract, especially if it's a season-ending injury. There's got to be something in that contract that's going to protect the team. If we don't sign him now and he balls out just as well as he did last year or better, then we're going to be paying him $60 million or more.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on his last deal of his rookie deal, correct?
Is he worth that? Is he worth that?
He's the best thing the Dolphins had since Marino.
I can go with that.
I don't think any player is worth $60 million personally. I mean,
and just because of his concussion history, much less his talent, his concussion history, if he gets one or two more, that could take him out.
Yeah,
that could take him out. But you also got to look at the way McDaniels ran thing. One of those, at least one of those concussions, could have been made a lot worse than what it was.
For sure,
and they kept him out longer than what he needed to be.
Who is your backup?
Well, this year we don't know yet. You have Mike White and Skylar Thompson.
Okay.
Skylar Thompson.
I would prefer Skylar Thompson over Mike White.
Yeah.
He looked good. Skylar Thompson looked good against us a couple years ago.
Well,
Right.
when he
Yeah.
played, but he's the only one with playoff experience,
Mm-hmm.
except for Tua now, which we lost to the Kansas City. But Skyler kept it close against Buffalo 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. Let me
So-
ask you this, Papa Paul.
Yeah.
Taking a look at next year's draft, if you had to choose between Shadur Sanders or Quinn Ewers to replace Tua, which one of those would you like?
I don't know a whole lot. I mean, a whole lot of either one of them, but I really couldn't say, honestly.
Let's hear it, Jay.
It's got to be Shadur Sanders. Quinn Ewers is way overrated.
Ooh.
Way overrated.
Yeah.
His
I wanted to
arm
be
is
a
not
Ewers
even.
fan.
Huh?
Yeah. I wanted to be a Ewers fan going into the season because I was looking at him as a
He
prospect,
hasn't
and every
proved
time I watch
nothing
him, I'm
down
like,
here. He
yeah,
hasn't proven anything down here.
yeah.
And Arch Manning is probably going to overtake him
Well,
down here.
it's like, there's been talk that we're going to release Skylar Thompson and Mike White's going to be the backup. But as far as OTAs and minicamp went, there was talk that Mike White didn't show enough for anybody to want him.
I'd keep Skylar
Yeah.
Thompson.
I've seen articles talking about how we're going to bench Aaron Jones for Ty Chandler. People just like to say stuff.
Oh, yeah, you got your trolls out there. And it's the same thing with your sportscasters and your commentators and all that. They say the right things to attract attention in order to get people talking about what they said.
Yeah, you got to
And
get those
it
clicks.
could be totally wrong, but they'll still say it.
Like Jordan Love's elite.
Yeah.
I don't call Tua elite yet.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback. He's even a great quarterback, really, but he's not an elite quarterback to me, and that's my personal opinion. But I support my Dolphins 100%. I live north of Tampa. I live north of Tampa. I'm a season ticket holder for Miami. Takes me 4.5 to 5.5 hour drive every time I go down there. I am the president and founder of the local fan club here that is recognized by Miami Dolphins.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And I have a podcast that we're on Huddle Sports Network 3 days a week and on our own 1 day a week. So it's because I am actually retired disabled, the Dolphins and everything I do has saved my life. So I love the Dolphins. For 50 plus years, I've been a fan, and nothing you can say or do is going to change my mind.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
Preach.
Amen.
Our last topic, we have announced one of our Ring of Honor inductees, and his name is Bobby Bryant. He pretty much spent his entire career with the Minnesota Vikings.
He has.
NFL champion, second team All-Pro, two-time Pro Bowler, one of the 50 greatest Vikings of all time. Welcome to the Ring of Honor.
Good for him.
Long
Just to name
overdue.
a few.
Long overdue. The guy was always in the right place at the right time. Honestly.
Well, that sounds like Van Ginkel.
51 career interceptions. 51. You put him and Paul Krause together, that's 130 interceptions. That's more than some entire franchise's interception total. And that's only
Does
two
he
people.
feel like he can still play?
Bobby Bryant? He's 80 years old.
Does he feel like he can still play? Because we could use him.
Shit. Yeah, no shit.
Probably not.
Well, if you haven't heard, Kenyon Drake just retired.
Kenyon Drake
Yes.
did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was our miracle in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was against the Patriots, correct?
Yep.
He's lost me a few fantasy weeks.
I won't forget that because I was on a cruise at the time in the sports lounge, and there was a lot of people that were still, new New England Patriots fans in there, and I'm sitting there with another couple other people watching it because we're Dolphins, and there's like 13 seconds left in the game, and Patriots fans are walking out. Oh, it's over! It's over! Da, 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 da. And then they started this, and I'm like, oh my god! Because how many times has the flea flicker bit been tried but never pulled off?
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god! Oh my god! That in the cruise ship I was on, the sports lounge was right next to the casino. My wife was in the casino on the other side of the casino. When we scored that touchdown, that sports bar erupted to where she heard it on the other side of the casino. And you have these Patriots fans that left saying it's over, coming running back in. What happened? What happened? What happened? Oh, I loved every minute of it, and it's something I will never forget.
That's amazing.
So we are getting close to our time. I just want to thank Papa Paul, our first AFC guest on this show on the network. You are welcome on any time.
Well, that goes for you guys. With us, I appreciate you having me. We're on Saturday nights tonight, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern time, and Monday evening, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. You guys are more than welcome to join us anytime. We want players from other fans from other groups and stuff to join us.
Hey, can you send me a link?
Yeah, I'll put it on the board this afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
if
you.
you have any patches representing your fan club, please let me know. I would love to represent the Dolphins up here, and because I love being a fan of fans. This is one thing we all love.
I have patches. I have shirts. I have flags.
I will message you on the group chat.
Yeah,
and we will get something up there because I would love to support you guys. This is
I
one thing we
appreciate it.
all love doing.
Yeah, we like doing. We'll trade patches or something.
Yes, I'm actually getting mine made.
Okay.
So again, thank you all so much for joining us. I will not be here the next 2 weeks because next week I'm in a parade with North Star Trips and Travel, the official travel provider of the Valhalla Hour and Viking fans everywhere. And the next week after that, I will be in northern Wisconsin for a family reunion. So I will
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. Plenty of beer.
Luckily, I have my Vikings
tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But again, thank you all so much for joining us. I don't know who we have lined up for next week's show. Maybe it might be Matthew.
Hey, at least we have training camp.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Fins up. And
Skull.
happy back to football week. And
thank you again for Gan Gingle.
Yes.
You're welcome. You're not welcome.
Hey, if you want to pass on Xavier Howard, that'd be appreciated too.
Not anymore.
He's still a free agent.
I know.
Not anymore.
So that's up to your guys.
Not after that kid text.
Again, thank you all so much.
He texted the kid a video of his mom naked.
Oh,
that's
yeah, okay. Never mind.
Don't have proof.
Yeah, can't have that.
On that note,
see you all next Saturday.
Yes,
have
sir.
a great week. Skull.
Go.